So, do you know what actually happens when you go to sleep? Do you know what actions your body may take that are completely unconscious and unknowns to you until somebody brings them to your conscious thought? Probably not. So, that's what this book, Sleep, by Zander Cannon, is about. It's about a character named Jonathan who leads a very interesting, unproductive life in this very small town. It's just a sleepy small town that you could find anywhere in the rural U.S. that has a cast of characters of about 10. And you've got Jonathan, you've got Tabby, you've got Hip, who is a folk singer that has come back to sing about his troubles while, helping to be a musician at the church. You've got a deputy. You've got ultra violence that's as yet unexplained. You've got coffee shop. Let's see, who else? What else you got? You've got a character named Jeremiah Lawson, whose mother doesn't even want his name spoken. You've got these awesome gray tones in this book. That's what's really cool about this book, is that it's got almost an independent Walking Dead sort of vibe to it, although it did come from Image, so it's the same company that did The Walking Dead way back in 2003. So who knows, this might become the next Image sleeper hit. But you've got a character who something happens to him when he falls asleep, and we're not really sure what's going on, but we know that his cat Mittens is missing, and we know that Tabby wants to get to the bottom of it. Hip wants to kind of relive his glory days with his friend Jonathan. And in the midst of it, like I said, you've got these mysterious killings going on of random objects, not necessarily even people, but like dismembered cows and things of that nature. So, as far as a murder mystery goes about why these things are happening and who might be the killer, it's really fun as a first issue. It really sets up this small town and gives it a vibe and gives it a life of its own, because a lot of times these small towns in America, things just stay the same day to day, year to year, decade to decade. And then something will happen that absolutely shatters that sleepiness, pun intended, and kind of wakes that little town up to what could be going on inside somebody's mind. Somebody who's been quiet for too long, somebody who has been overlooked for a job promotion, somebody who feels as though they're not being heard even though they're screaming out loud every single day. So sleep is very resonant and relevant to the modern day characters that you see in comics and books and TV shows. You've got a character who may or may not be acting out on impulse while he sleeps. And a lot of you guys that have read the Black Costume Saga, that's one reason that Peter wanted to get rid of the symbiote. He didn't want anything to be controlling him while he slept. And that's what the symbiote would do. The symbiote said, you know what, you love to go out and serve and protect at night, but you have to sleep. I don't have to sleep. So the symbiote would go out and play Spider-Man all night long, and then Peter would wake up and be utterly exhausted the next morning because the symbiote had been flipping and twipping and thwipping with his body all night long across the city, and probably beating the heck out of people and God knows what. So what happens to somebody when they're asleep and they don't remember what they might have done or might not have done is an absolutely huge thing. It can become a problem. So for this initial assessment, I'm going to give it a 3 thumbs up. Why 3? Because maybe while you're watching this video, you might be asleep. You might not even be watching this video. You might have thought to put it on your watch list and then fell asleep dreaming about it. So let's just stick with the odd. Stick with the Twilight Zone and say 3 thumbs up out of 3. So I want to see much more of what Sleep has got to offer, and especially what Zander Cannon, who's been around for 30 years, what does he have to say? What does this character have to say through him, through his artwork, through his writing, through his letters, his colors, his gray tones? What does this character have to say? And I went to high school and elementary school with a guy named Jeremiah Lawson, so what the heck did Jeremiah Lawson do? I just thought that was odd, because when I saw the name, I said, I know somebody by that name. So now it's got me wondering where Zander Cannon grew up and whether he knew the same Jeremiah Lawson that I knew. But anyway, check it out, guys. I highly recommend it as an initial assessment. If you want murder mystery, small town intrigue, almost like a Twin Peaks type feel, not nearly as David Lynchy as that, but still, it's got that little small town feel, like I said, where nothing goes on, and then all of a sudden something goes horribly wrong with the Matrix, and something glitches, and you can't figure out why. So thanks for watching this, guys. I hope you picked up a copy of this as well, and that you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought if you did, and if not, let me know if you're going to at least try it, because that's the main thing about this channel. I don't want to just do review after review after review. I want to point you guys in the right direction to find new books and to go your own way, and to not just read the big Marvel and DC books, but instead, if you want something with a little more punch, a little more exposition, a little more meat on the bones, then I think Sleep will absolutely be the dose that you require.